Time Gate Moments. Welcome.
الله أكبر الله أكبر.
So we just stopped here momentarily in what looks like a, I don't know, Star Wars, the Jedi, I don't know, desert spot, almost forsaken, right? Yet there are people living here, you name it. Wow, look at that. Is that a mountain? A leftover of a pyramid? Allahu A'lam. Wow. One has to be tough, resourceful, and having faith to be able to live here and survive. Subhanallah. Yeah. Wow. Anyway, there's the coach there to leave in about a couple of minutes. We cannot miss it. Otherwise we perish. Yeah. Anyway. That's life. Alhamdulillah for life, food, health, and sunshine that does not burn you. Yeah. Look at that. Somebody doesn't want to lose. Brilliant. From the bus station to hotel somewhere. Wow, and that looks like the Nile there. All right. Wow. A human being's ability to make a place of something is just Allah given, mashallah. All right. And that, ladies and gentlemen, looks like the first lizard or some kind of reptile we saw in Egypt, right there. Wow, incredible. Let's make it move. Just like that, it disappears. Yeah, finally, we made it to Abu Simbel. What a trek. What a hot day. Life, food, and health. Those are the three most essential things in life for sure. Wow. Anyway, the lizard earlier, that was the first thing we saw. And that right over there, in the distance, that could be the one of the temples in Abu Simbel. And there's another one behind it, right behind it on the left side. So we'll have to have a look tomorrow or something, inshallah. And we're hoping that this here could be a hostel or a hotel, maybe somebody friendly that can offer a room for the night. And right over there, we have the mosque. That's a good option to visit, inshallah. Yeah. Anyway, in terms of cosmography, anywhere south towards south of the tropics, of the Tropic of Cancer, is never winter. Subhanallah. You know, this is January in Egypt, in southern Egypt, to be more specific, and it was baking. The sun is about to set now, but boy, it was baking, and that's a black man complaining. Wow. Wow. So imagine when the sun returns from the tropics of Capricorn in a southern region of the sky towards the north. Imagine how hot it will be in Sudan and Egypt and Libya and what have you. Brothers, sisters, men and ladies, and anyone else out there that may be watching this video and channel, first and foremost, thanks a lot for watching this video. Really appreciate that. That alone is enough of a support. Now, secondly, you might be thinking, what on earth made me become a flat earther? And to be straight to the point, to be frank, to be honest, it was really down to independent research, inquisition, curiosity, observation, wanting to realistically understand about cosmology, cosmography, and geography. You know, so I just did some more investigation on both sides of the spectrum. The NASA, you know, their videos, their claims, their moon landing stuff, and narrative, their posters about the planets and stars, as well as the flat Earth counterclaims, allegations, videos, books, documentaries, both nowadays and back in the days. We are talking hundreds of years ago. Yes, they were flat earthers. And then, you know, I realized the more you do some research, at least independently and objectively, you realize some things just don't add up. You know, something is fundamentally wrong with modern cosmology. And of course, also you have the Quran, you know, lurking around in the background. You have to somehow bring it into the equation. And I just realized, you know, for example, check this video out. What on earth is this all about? Why should this be out there? And why are people making these claims if something is not wrong? Check this out.
How NASA makes those incredible high-res images of Earth. They're saying that they get the images from a low-orbit satellite that takes ribbons of images, and they have to fill those gaps in. If they have satellites, why don't they just go back and take a whole picture of Earth? Instead, it's literally like an airplane flying over different parts of the world, taking ribbons of images that have to be stitched together on this globe.
That can be translated into ribbons of imagery like this, and then into one of these.
They have to put these pieces together, which means there's empty spaces between the ribbons that have to be photoshopped in.
Because there's a very slight gap in between each orbit.
So some of those are painted on.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
All these layers are put together to make that picture of the blue marble world that you all see on your iPhones. If you take these original images and you put them in Photoshop, we now have the technology, the people have the technology to put these things in a program and find out that they're fake. This is straight off of NASA's website. It says, from 1 million miles away, NASA's camera shows moon crossing face of Earth. Now look at this. This is the dark side of the moon that we're seeing. This is from, I guess, a satellite that's higher than the moon, and it actually caught footage of the moon going across the Earth. What I want you to notice is the clouds. They are not moving. 1 inch. The clouds do not move at all in this video of the rotation of the Earth. You know how fast clouds move? The website says that these images were taken between 3:50 p.m. and 8:45 p.m. So 5 hours of footage and not a single cloud has moved. Come on, man. This is straight from NASA. Be honest with yourself. This is not real.
How about this one? Check this one out.
Green light, green light, green light.
What about this one?
Good morning, Commissioners. Today I come here asking for your help, but first a little backstory. I think we all remember the Challenger explosion that took place in 1986 that tragically took the lives of all 7 astronauts on board. It launched not too far from where we're standing here today. Well, the interesting thing is, a couple decades later, this thing called the internet came about, and someone allegedly found almost all of those astronauts alive and well, many using the same exact names. As you can see here, we have Challenger astronaut Judith Resnick and also a Judith Resnick Yale law professor. Michael J. Smith, the pilot of the Challenger astronaut, and also professor at University of Wisconsin, now retired Michael J. Smith. Commander Dick Scobie, who is now president of Cows and Trees. Now, if you'll notice, they all have the exact same faces 30 some odd years later, the same exact name, and they are the same age. Now, we all have a doppelganger out there, right? No big deal. But to have the same face, the same age, and the same exact name is extremely rare. So rare, I could only find one case in the last 120 years. And we're supposed to believe that 3 people from one spaceflight have exact lookalikes that have the same age and same exact names. This, ladies and gentlemen, is beyond statistically impossible. Ms. Resnick was questioned at Yale by a journalist, and she panicked and ran from the camera. Why? Mr. Michael J. Smith was also questioned, and he said, yeah, we look alike, but that's not me. You can see both of these exchanges in a film called Level with Me, and you can be the judge. Mr.
Sir,
Scobie
I'm going to have to stop.
Sir, this is a public comment.
I know what it is, sir. I'm very familiar with the public comment.
Okay.
And part of the public comment is that you're only allowed to address things that we have jurisdiction over. We have no
I have a direct request at the end of this that is in your purview, sir, please. I do. Can we hold the time, please? I have a direct request that...
listen to me.
Okay.
Very carefully. Mr. Richardson, would you give an opinion in regards to this, please?
Yes, public comment is reserved for issues or topics that are under the jurisdiction or control of the county commission or that are relevant to the business of the county commission. So if your request at the end is going to explain why that falls into any of this, make that request now before you continue.
Absolutely. So as I was saying, I'll just end it with what I was ending with. But the ask is that Ms. Pritchett, who knows very well about questioning science, whether it be COVID or fluoride, I'm just asking you all to question the science here. Your Goodson and Pritchett, your district covers the Kennedy Space Center. This launched from the Kennedy Space Center. You have the ability to help me in sounding the alarm and asking the federal government for help. If this is contained in your area, I should be able to at least address something that happened here. Don't you agree?
That's not within the jurisdiction or authority of the county commission.
Thank you very much.
Will you let me finish for at least 10 seconds?
No, sir, you're finished. Thank you.
Thank you for taking away my freedom of speech today in here.
I did not take away your freedom of speech.
Yes, you did.
I don't want to hear it from you people down here.
Just because this is an uncomfortable topic.
Officers, please remove this man from the room.
You just violated the First Amendment.
I didn't violate the First Amendment.
No,
he violated the rules.
This is a limited public forum, and the meeting is for the purpose of the business of the county commission. It's not for this purpose.
Now, if you want to go too, take him out too. Officer, take him out also.
Everyone just calm down. They can leave willingly.
Wow.
No, we're leaving willingly. You don't have to remove us.
You just made a decision about NASA. You're making your decisions based. You violated the First Amendment already.
Thank you very much for your opinion.
Yeah, maybe check reading it out again.
These astronauts are alive, by the way. Look it up. You can't have 3 doppelgangers. You can't. Same face, same name, same age. It's impossible. Look it up. Statistically impossible.
On Point Behavioral Center's right down the street. That's where I suggest you go.
Just because you think this is a mental problem, I should still be able to talk. It's your opinion, sir. Have a nice day. You too. Thank you.
Thanks again.
Yeah, y'all have a good one. All right, take care. Thanks. As I was saying, before I was rudely interrupted and my First Amendment was violated during a public comment period here in Brevard County, I was saying that Mr. Scobie is the most interesting because not only does he have the same age, same face, same name, same slanted eye in the cheek if you look very closely, get this, he created a company called Cows and Trees, and the promo video has a cow blasting off strapped to a rocket, leaving a smoke trail eerily similar to that of the Challenger explosion. You couldn't make this up if you tried. That's why I today am calling on the Brevard County Commissioners to stand with me in demanding the Senate Subcommittee on Space Science open a new investigation into the Challenger explosion. Because if this is all one big coincidence, no big deal. But if it's true, people watch what they believe were 7 people blown up on live television, inflicting emotional and psychological trauma on millions of Americans. And we deserve to know why on earth something like that would be done. And like I was saying to Commissioner Pritchett and Commissioner Goodson, the only reason I'm back in here is because NASA ignored my last request and was completely unresponsive about the ISS discrepancies. I was blocked by their public affairs officer after one polite request. Commissioner Pritchett and Commissioner Goodson cover the area that contains the Kennedy Space Center. So I was just simply hoping that they would be able to help me in some way since it is their territory. I still thank them for their time, and I wish I was able to finish my speech, but we finished outside, and that's good enough. I hope we can get some transparency with NASA one way.
So, as you can see from these simple clips, and the more and more you watch, the more footages, you start to see a pattern, a much bigger picture that has been going on for a long time, you see. And then, of course, as always, as a Muslim, you have to refer to the Quran. And then on top of all this, you realize the Quran is a geocentric book. You see, straightforward. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you the truth, somebody else must be lying. Wow. Life, health, and food. These are the 3 most essential things in life, for sure. All praise I do to Allah. Anyway, this bit here, excuse me, it's a small segment of the Nile. Perhaps the main river is over there, at least the Abu Simbel section. They said potentially there are crocodiles anywhere south of Aswan. So we got to be careful. You know, we don't want to risk it. We're not exactly a crocodile Dundee, right? You know? Yeah. Alhamdulillah. You know, the Nile is just another victim out there in terms of environmental negligence. Look at this. It's just plastic bottles, you know, all over the place. And just here, look, we just dragged these plastic bits out of the water, and look, straight away you can see there was a small fish trapped in there and died. Wow, right there, you see. Look at that. Man, we gotta be careful with the, we gotta be mindful of the environment. You know, I mean, life, water is life. You know, this is what consumerism and capitalism, this is what they do to the environment. Nothing is left to chance, you see. Yeah, who cares, you see? No, we gotta care. Subhanallah, this is a shame. So we're just gonna investigate this rooftop. There's a lot of space here, a lot of space. It looks like an elevated garden area. Yes, that looks like a mosque in the distance. Yeah, very nice place. A lot of fresh air, open spaces, and what have you. There's the Nile
just nearby here. Yeah, wow, really, I'm really disappointed that there's not a lot of people coming to this hotel here. And there's the Abu Simbel. That must be the Abu Simbel temple out there. Wow, what a brilliant place this would be for a tourist location and place for tourists to stay. But unfortunately, Abu Simbel is very south of Egypt, and not many people get there. Wouldn't really say it's a top class hotel, but it sure does have a nice rooftop. Yeah, really appreciate it. And that looks like some sort of an eagle or some kind of a bird of prey, river or oceanic bird. Yeah, wow. And there it goes, just flies away out there, just riding the winds. Yeah, wow. Free as a
And
bird.
right under there, it looks like some kind of a big spider is hiding. Can you see it right there? Well, there you go. Now you see it, now you don't. Wow. You know, it's interesting. The more you explore the river area, you start to see more and more animals, both small and big. Yeah. Wow. If we go up the trees here, you can probably already hear it. But there's an Egyptian sparrow right about there. Evermore singing right there. You see, possibly a male because it looks quite large. Right. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of deserts in Egypt, but once you come to the Nile area, you start to see more and more animals. It's big and small. Yeah, as big as crocodiles. But here we have a sparrow just roosting there, mashallah. So also, it looks like Abu Simbel hosts one of Egypt's top class airports right there. That is the evidence right there. I'm not really sure if this plane is coming down or is taking off. It looks like it's about to land, so the airport must be somewhere behind those trees and those buildings there. All right. This is where modernity infuses itself with the ancient world of Egypt. Now, one of the remarkable or true blessing, characteristic or aspect of Abu Simbel is that is the open land, you know, it's just open landscape, 360 degrees, lakes, temples, distant mountains. Look at that one there. That's probably a black rock mountain or possibly a pyramid in the distance, easily 8 or 10 miles away. A lot of greenery here. You see another, I don't know, pyramid mountain in the background right there. There's more there. The point is, this is a perfect place, especially if you can come to one of these slightly elevated spots to overcome things such as claustrophobia and other mental challenges of that nature. You see, perfect place. This is because nature dominates this place as opposed to man-made buildings and congestions. Here's the ancient temples right there. And of course, we have the minaret right there behind this date palm. Brilliant place to become, to meditate, reflect, and become open-minded. Alhamdulillah, really appreciate it. And right there, ladies and gentlemen, we have Egypt's, well, one of Egypt's smallest birds. I'm not sure of the name, but it's sure it's very small and full of songs. Yeah, incredible. There you go, right there. So just to take another look at the hotel, it's quite a massive sort of a sanctuary. It's almost ghostly. Nobody's here. Abandoned, but it's still under somebody's ownership and control somehow. something straight out of a Tomb Raider, I don't know, Indiana Jones film. Wow. There's a lot of rusty doors, as you can see here. Wow. You got the date palm, semi-collapsed, but still hanging on. And of course, a pair of sparrows resting right there. It's a really hot day, and they're trying to take advantage of the shadow there, the shade, should we say. I'm not sure what those are for, but they look like a pair of domes above the I don't know, ruined building. So this was the entrance. Look at that. Someone left before even finishing their cup of glass. I don't know. It looks like the aftermath of some sort of I don't know, disaster or something, and everybody just ran off. So this here, this should have been the reception, full of activity, paperwork, keys being exchanged, payments. But no, it's just abandoned. Just look at that. You can see how many rooms are here. Just the numbers remain. No paperwork, no receptionist, nothing. Well, old 80s, 90s stereo right there, and a flask. Wow. It's just, even the electricity is gone. And that door, that gate, is the gateway to the rest of the world right there. Yeah, very ghostly, I don't know, strange place. There's your date palm, semi-collapsed, but just hanging on. Anyway, just gonna grab something to eat. It's a really hot day, something to drink, and then head in that direction about a mile away, where there are the temples of Abu Simbel. All right, see you there. All praise are due to Allah. Alhamdulillah, we finally made it to the Abu Simbel temple, right about there. And it's quite colossal, monumental. Wow. And just to the left, we have the Nile system right there. Now, one or two facts about the Abu Simbel temple is that, well, and also about the ancient Egyptians. It says that this was built, what, around the 13th century BCE. Now, the ancient Egyptians, they used a rock cutting architectural method by using copper chisels and other stone cutting tools to be able to excavate the inner chambers, the massive and monumental chambers for statues and what have you. Now, but you wonder, besides that, you wonder how much effort the ancient pagans, whether Egyptians, Babylonians, Persians, and others out there, Mexico, Mesoamericans, how much effort did they put into their paganism, you see, and their temples, subhanallah. And another fact is that this is actually not the original site. In the 1960s, they had UNESCO efforts have to literally relocate the entire temple to this location. Originally, it was situated about 200 meters, somewhere near the waters. So they had to cut the temples into about 1,000 pieces and then relocate it and reconstruct it here. Wow, subhanallah, that is a lot of effort. That's a lot of money, you see. But yet you wonder, nothing of this nature has been done for the people of Palestine, you see, and others out there. Think about that. All praise are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. Just need some water for the time being. It's really been another hot day. So this spot here looks promising. Really thirsty. Through these groves, bushes and shrubs. Here, right there, we have some water. Right there, alhamdulillah. So that's the edge of the river, right there. Slightly shallow, a life source to all the animals here. You can just over there you can see dog tracks, birds, and others. So this is where probably animals come to drink, because it's easily accessible, shallow, and the water looks undisturbed. Right, anyway, let's have a drink and make wudu. All right, here we go. So yeah, alhamdulillah, we managed to get some fresh water. That was really refreshing, especially in a hot day like this. But you know, one has to admit there is something slightly dangerous at the river's edge, yet original. In other words, you have to be careful when you are using rivers in the wild, because you never know what could poke out. Especially that they say that anything south of the Aswan Dam, there are crocodiles in the Nile. But this time, alhamdulillah, no danger, just refreshment and a fresh cup of river water to take away. Alhamdulillah, really appreciate it. All praise I do to Allah. So this is another angle of the Abu Simbel temple. As you can see, it's very extensive all the way across. Wow, maybe there's the chamber, the inner chamber where the statues and other representations are housed. So you have to enter from there, somewhere behind those trees, and you're able to walk around. But nevertheless, this is one of the relics, or I don't know, lesson or observation that the ancient people have left us. Here we go. Allahu Akbar. All praise I do to Allah. And I think this boat here will take you across the river, somewhere out there, into the unknown. Of course, it's organized, and people are getting on the boat, you know, group by group. Anyway, that's it for today at Abu Simbel. It looks like the sun is about to set. So let's make our way to the mosque, inshallah. All right, that's day 17. Okay, it's time to go back to Aswan, and from there further on to Luxor, inshallah. It's time to ride the winds. Let's go. Here we go. You know, it's really interesting how the currents and the winds on an elevated spot by the river can be really strong. SubhanAllah, it makes sense why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that He subjected the winds to Sulaiman alayhi salam as a gift from him. Very strong gust. It makes sense how the ships were able to sail across the ocean. Wow, alhamdulillah. All praise I do to Allah. Look at this. You can just tell where the gust and the wind is flowing. Yeah, very strong. Wow. Well, there goes another cat, somewhere between Aswan and Abu Simbel. Incredible. I'm going through what looks like, what? Bread? Subhanallah. Yeah.
Now, just to go back to the flat earth topic within this video, many Muslims, whenever you discuss with them about cosmology, cosmography, and the shape of our earth, in most cases, most of them, they refer to this verse here. Of course, they refer to other verses, but this one is a particular choice. This one here is from Surah An-Nasi'at, chapter 79 of the Quran. وَالْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ دَحَاهَا. And then they say, there you go, arrest our case. The earth is a globe. The earth is shaped like an ostrich egg. And then you say to them, wait a minute, hold your horses, hold your camels, hold your sheep and chickens. Wait a minute. Where exactly in the text does it say an ostrich egg? Of course, consciously, they know that it's not in the text. So why do they do that nonetheless? Because subconsciously, they have a mental image, mental visuals provided by NASA in the modern context. You know, NASA CGI, optic illusion, computer simulations about this spinning globe somewhere in space around the sun. They have that. So what we do is, as Muslims, we like to read that stuff into the Quranic text. You see, subconsciously, even though we know consciously that is not what the Quran is saying. You see, talk about cognitive dissonance. Was it cognitive dissonance? At least in a modern context. Come on, Muslims, what are we doing? Are your core beliefs provided by the Quran or by NASA? You see, most Muslims, just like anyone else out there, they fail to realize that they are living in the age of Ad-Dajjal, the liar, the imposter, the magician, who uses visuals, optic illusion, you see, and computer screens. This term here, the haha, is a third party past tense single verb. You see, an action that has been done by a single entity in the past. وَالْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ دَحَاهَا. You see, this is not a noun. You know, daha, dahaytu, dahayta, dahawna, daha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you that He has spread or stretched out the earth as a flat, horizontal, leveled, plain platform. You see, so come on, Muslims, what are we talking about? Ostrich eggs and chicken eggs and what have you eggs? It does not say that in the text. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you how He built the earth as a flat, horizontal, level platform. Allahu Akbar. Now look at this basic classical explanations by the classical scholars. They are consistent. They are in conformity and compliance with the Quran. You see, same thing. And the earth has been spread out. You see, a verb, not a noun, nothing to do with eggs and ostrich eggs. You see, وَالْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ دَحَاهَا. And you have something similar in Surah Ash-Shams. وَالسَّمَاءَ وَمَا بَنَاهَا وَالْأَرْضَ وَمَا دَحَاهَا. Similar. Now compare this to the modern contemporary scholars. Look at that. They start to introduce the analogy and the examples of an egg, ostrich egg, and so forth, udhiyah, and what have you, chicken eggs, ostrich eggs, and all the other eggs. Why? Because they have been affected, they have been impacted, they have been infiltrated by NASA images, optic illusion, televisionization, CGI, computer simulation, augmented virtual reality, AVR. That's why. You see, So what do? They force this into the Quran. You see, no need. No need. The Quran is the truth. You see, what NASA are telling the public and showing them is just optic illusion. Why? Because the Dajjal is a magician. That's why. If anything, if we were to grant that this is somehow referring to the part of the earth that an ostrich would dig out or smooth out in order to lay its eggs, then there is nothing wrong with that. That is a good example. That is a good analogy of how the original earth was formed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is similar to a crane or an excavator that excavates a part of the earth in order to lay out the new foundation for a new home. There's nothing wrong with that. The bit we are against is the egg bit. Why do they put the egg into the equation? There's nothing here about eggs. Nothing. So why did they do that, modern scholars? Because they have the NASA images, CGI, computer simulations, and optic illusion provided to them through mass media, computer images, and of course, Western televisions.
So today, day 19, on our way to Luxor, a big city, we decided to stop at Esna, a smaller city just on the way, and decided to have a look. It's been another really hot day, and it looks like somebody is trying to farm potentially lemons, apples. Hard work here, very hard work. As you know, in Egypt, there's hardly any rain. It gets really dry, arid, and the main source of living and water is the Nile system. That's why it's known as the Nile, the Nile Valley civilization, the ancient Egyptians and others later on. Right, and there's a lot of these hardy trees here, some kind of the date palm category, very hardy, tough trees. Right, wow. So that's the preliminary. Can't even say the word. That's the preliminary bit at Esna. We wonder what's happening over there. Wow. Well. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that. What do we have here? Another cat, this time in Esna. A tiny creature right there, like a gem amidst the bushes. And just like that, it disappears into the unknown.
Yes, good morning. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Yes, we are still somehow somewhere in Esna. We have to stop over for some rest for the night because yesterday was just challenging, bothersome. It was just mad. 2 police officers came onto the train from Aswan to Esna and just took the man's passport, saying that I have to pay almost 2,000 Egyptian pound, which is quite a lot of money over here. So I wasn't really following them. They said, oh, it's a fine, you're not Egyptian, we have different prices for forget that, I ain't paying him nothing. You know what I'm saying? But till he showed me his gun right beside his holster. You know, God, I thought he was going to let loose a cap for a moment, so I gave him the passport. I'm not going to risk it. Oh, man. But anyway, later on, luckily, alhamdulillah, we got it back somehow. Wow. That was a bit risky. Anyway, later on, inshallah, as the morning develops, we're going to make our way to Luxor, a city about 50, 60 miles north of Esna. Meanwhile, there's been a big donkey outside just barking throughout the morning. Talk about an alarm clock. Yeah. Anyway, let's get ready and make our way before we lose our shoes. God.
Well, this looks like a balcony view of somewhere in Esna. There's a man attending to his horse and donkey. Oh, mashallah. There's another man demonstrating how to ride a horse. Right, brilliant, brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, okay. There's another one there, trying to split some food between a horse and a donkey. Yeah. And we have this to ourselves for now. Anyway, time to make our way to the train station and off to Luxor. So this is just crossing the Nile at the Esna section. Wow. So it looks like this massive bridge was actually built by the English when they were here. Wow. Subhanallah. It's actually hard work. It's hard work. This was only possible because of industrialism, the English industrialism. Wow. Look at the size of those chains. Just hard work. You know what, guys? Sometimes you wonder, Akhirah and Jannah with Allah is better than this dunya. It's just hard work. Wow. On our way to Esna, before embarking for Luxor at the train station, we found this pure, crystal clear spring of water here, which sort of flow into that forest there. And this bit here is very lush and green compared to the surrounded arid land. And of course there are a few residents there and passers-by. So this is very essential, very important here, very important. I mean, this is crystal clear water, very fresh. Look at that. Very refreshing. You can almost taste it. Well, you can taste the elements in the water. Water like this, springs, are very essential to arid desert landscapes. Otherwise, people and animals would die. Really appreciate it. Okay, anyway, let's leave it at that and make our way to Luxor at the train station. Alhamdulillah. Really appreciate it. We finally made it to Luxor. It's rather in the evening after having prayed the prayer of sunset. So that's the main area, the city, the train station, the center. But now we managed to board this boat or ship to the other side of Luxor, where according to AI it's more ancient, more calm, tranquil, and even affordable in terms of nightly stay and other guest houses. So yeah, very calm, tranquil area of Luxor. Of course, ever more complemented by the Nile River at night. Very beautiful. Yeah, anyway, we will see you in a bit. So in terms of stay in place, we were really lucky to find this nice hotel, guest house. Very nice. You're looking about maybe £6-7 for the night. Brilliant. A lot of colors here, and also yeah, more colors. Very clean. Really appreciate it. All right, so this is one of the best so far in Egypt. The guest was a gentleman, very Islamic, a Muslim man with a turban. Yeah, he was able to just give us advice and welcomed us here to stay. All right, anyway, that's day, what day was it? Day 20 today. Tomorrow, we look forward to day 21. All right,
Thank you for watching.
So why Egypt? Now, one of the first reasons of going to Egypt was to observe the furthest horizon from high altitude, you know, inside an airplane. And that's what we did. And guess what? The furthest horizon inside the airplane somehow miraculously rises to your eye level. Now, that should not be happening if the Earth is a globe. That can only occur if the Earth is flat and is stationary. Think about it. On a globe Earth, the furthest horizon at this altitude should be dipping away from you the further away it is. But that is not what we observe in real life. On a globe Earth, there is no way that the furthest horizon in the distance should be rising to your eye level as you sit inside the airplane. No way. It just does not make any sense. You see, on a globe that is supposedly rotating in space, the furthest horizon, that is the most distant horizon, should be dipping away from you the further away it is. This is basic logic, basic reason. But in reality, this is not what we can observe. Therefore, something is fundamentally wrong with modern globe projections. You see, another particular reason for this trip to Egypt relates to canals, as you can see here. Now, as you know, Egypt is famous for the Suez Canal, a 100 miles stretch of a canal across the desert in the northern part of Egypt, all the way to the Mediterranean Sea. But guess what? Guess what? No supposed curvature whatsoever was ever taken into account during the construction of this famous canal. How comes? How comes? Because according to the globe, in relation to the curvature measurement, we should have approximately 1.3 miles curvature dip across the 100 miles of a canal. But in reality, that does not exist. You see, why? Because the canal is built on a flat surface all the way across in the 100 miles. That's why.
And also there's this amazing traditional fireplace just outside the main sitting area. But this fire here is just magical, mashallah, amazing. Look at this solid wood. It's just been burning here for hours. You can feel the warmth, mashallah. Really, really good feature of this place. Alhamdulillah. We just came back from the Fajr congregation, and on our way back to the hotel, just saw this fantastic beast of a horse, mashallah, just grazing here on its own. And there's another one right there in the distance. Yeah, wow. And that's the city in the background all the way there, and in between is the Nile River. Of course, you have to cross over by ship. But yeah, this is a fantastic brown horse right here. Get some attention here. Look at that. Just been grazing here. Really good to see that. Oh. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. MashaAllah. Yeah. Anyway, there's few more over there. Let's go and see. I think they're used for horse riding and other activity of that nature. And there's some more horses here. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how horses sleep and rest. So this is their stable. Wow. MashaAllah, it's like the size of a, I don't know, 5-a-side football pitch. And all the way back there is a farmland. Yeah, fantastic. The sun hasn't risen yet. It's still in the morning, early in the morning. But yeah, alhamdulillah. That is the highlight of today's morning. MashaAllah. Yeah. Horses in real time. And the air is really fresh. Always the case in Fajr. Yeah, brilliant. Anyway, let's leave them in peace. Yeah, MashaAllah. Yeah, good afternoon. This is day 21. It's still in Luxor. So that's the main street there, right there. The hustle and the bustle. And we took a turn into this nice, very serene, calm alleyway. Semi-foresty, half-built buildings. Aladdin, Tomb Raider, you know, Indiana Jones, you name it. Yes, this is Egypt. Wow, look at the colors of those flowers. Yes, even a man sometimes has to express some of his ways. Anyway, we hope that this alleyway will lead us back to the hotel somewhere. Hope we don't get lost. Here we go. Welcome to Luxor. We just came across this beautiful horse, brown amber horse, and it looks like it's just into carrots. It's been yumming these carrots here. So we're gonna try and give it one. Here we go. There you go. You gotta watch out. You gotta watch out that it doesn't snap off your fingers with the carrots. Yeah. Beautiful animal. MashaAllah. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. What horsepower. And just on this side here we have a pair of donkeys. Probably a mother and a colt. Wow. And that's more of the Nile. Ships, boats, and the main city and the train station behind here. So on this side, to the right of the donkeys, is farmland, sort of countryside. Goats, sheep, horse stable. So we're gonna try to investigate that direction there in the next 1 hour or so. So we'll let the donkeys be. Yeah, and here we have another beautiful horse. Probably a male here. Brilliant, brilliant. Looks really good. So we're just making our way to the area known as the Valley of the Kings, right over there. I'm not sure if you can see the mountains in the background. All that is desert and semi-arid land. Behind this are marshlands, sort of sugarcane, large grassland. So we're gonna just go this way and maybe try to make our way that way. It's quite distant, but worthwhile the walk. Why not? Yeah, you have the temple of this and temple of that guy, Ramesses, Amenhotep. You know, remember the Imhotep? There's a guy called Amenhotep. I think this will be a good place for those African Americans and black Europeans to come and sort of see what they can discover here and, you know, see. All right, for now, this way. You know, it's really interesting. The main city of Luxor is in that direction. We just came from there. But the more you go towards the west bank, further on towards the Valley of the Kings, which is in that direction, you realize though, the more countryside the situation gets. You got your cows here, just foraging around the place. Yeah, you can smell the countryside, the cow dung, the dust, the air, I don't know, the trees, the rotting elements, you name it. Yeah, proper countryside. And there's your proverbial donkey feeding right next to a group of cows right there. Wow, brilliant. Yeah, Mr. Donkey here. I wonder he would really appreciate a carrot. Yeah, definitely. The west bank of Luxor, as you go further west, is definitely farmland. Yeah, look at this, it's real. Truly a farmland. Goats, sheep, donkeys, farming, and of course, the 1 or 2 odd cars. In fact, one of the latest. What a contrast. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. So, ladies and gentlemen, simply put, that is the Valley of the Kings in one continuous camera sweep right there, and there's more behind there. Yeah, so sort of in that direction, maybe about quarter of a mile, there's the temple of Amenhotep III. Yeah, so we're gonna just try to go and check that out. But that is quite distant. I know it looks close, but that's quite far, especially that mountain at the back. Wow. So yeah, and then out of nowhere this time is a dog. It's not a cat, it's a dog right here, you know. It's another one, a black one. Let's at least try to share with them the bread we have. That's how hungry they are. Yeah, anyway, let's continue. We finally made it to the temple site after a long walk, or at least what's left over from the temple. According to the guys over there, this entire place was a temple, and these are the remainders. Almost a full body there, an arm and a leg there, and then we have more figures there, dedicated to one of the ancient Egyptian, probably royalty, Amenhotep, and some other individual, is it Memnon, something of that nature. But believe it or not,